Welcome to Taylor Swift 101, also known as How to Properly Be a Taylor Swift Fan, or Swiftie, in 2019. In this presentation, I will provide statistics on Taylor that any superfan would need to know and how to apply them. Taylor has gone through 7 eras of music in her career of the public eye. Each era has a different aesthetic and feel to create a vibe for the listeners. In her first album, the self-titled Taylor Swift, she was authentically herself as a 16-year-old country musician. She had curly, big hair and a personality to match it. She didn't have a large budget, but her videos have a vintage Americana feel to them, and the era has a lot of blues and greens. Some prominent songs from this era are Picture to Burn, Tim McGraw, and Our Song. Fearless came next and really propelled her into the mainstream's attention. This album felt more mature than the first and had a bigger budget, but still felt like her. This era had a lot of gold and youthful feels. The biggest songs of this era were Love Story, You Belong With Me, and White Horse. Speak Now, the entirely self-written album, was released next. She was in the eye of the public at this point and had large budgets and tours. The singles were smash hits, and the videos were wonderful. She based this era around purple colors, but with the deluxe version, changed everything to reds to prep us for the next album. The most monumental of her self-written tracks on the charts were Mean, Mine, and Back to December. The next album, Red, really towed the line between country and pop, while also incorporating elements of electronic and rock music. The singles were widely played on the radio, and everyone knew who Taylor was at this point. The era had a vintage photography vibe surrounding it, yet while maintaining a fun early 20s feel. Her singles with the most impact from this era were We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, I Knew You Were Trouble, 22, All Too Well, and Begin Again. With 1989, Taylor made a full leap into the pop music industry and took it over. Shake It Off was a smash hit and is still one of the biggest pop songs of our generation. This era included Polaroids and beaches in the imagery while also fully embracing the pop aesthetics. The era was named after the year in which she was born, December 13th, 1989. Singles such as Shake It Off, Blank Space, Wildest Dreams, Bad Blood, featuring Kendrick Lamar, and Style clearly defined the era. Reputation took a large detour from her normal feelings and aesthetics to go much darker and reserved. Her music had a certain edge to it in this era and felt angrier than ever before. Everything primarily was black and white to fit her tone of no explanation, only reputation. Also notable for this era is that she did 0 interviews or press for it, yet it still had killer sales. Her biggest songs of this era were Look What You Made Me Do, Endgame featuring Ed Sheeran and Future, Ready For It, and Delicate. Lover is Taylor's most recent era and fully combines different aspects from her previous eras while also introducing new elements and sounds. The aesthetics are colorful and vibrant and have images of butterflies and cats prominent. Her songs are their most authentic forms and were well received. The singles for this era thus far have been Me, featuring Brendan Urie of Panic at the Disco, You Need to Calm Down, and the titular track, Lover. The media has constantly made Taylor out to be the bad guy in different situations throughout her career. That's why during the Reputation era, she decided to not allow the media to have her sound bites, or to have the chance to twist her words. She maintained a stance of anti-interview, and to allow her music to speak for itself. Her photos for these media postings have always maintained consistency. Which era does this photo from GQ share similarities with? If you said the 1989 era, you'd be right because of the pastel coloring and beach. Taylor's tours have also been large successes. Through her tours, she has introduced acts like Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, Shawn Mendes, Charli XCX, and Camila Cabello to a larger world stage by having them as her openers. Her tours are always formatted to have the songs of her new era, prominent songs from the past that fit into the new aesthetic, and an overarching story that is told. Her Reputation Stadium tour has been one of the largest tours ever. Her tours for Speak Now, 1989, and Reputation have all been made into tour movies and are available on different platforms for consumption. Taylor Swift by Taylor Swift ended its first week of sales with 40,000 sales, which is impressive for a relatively unknown artist at that point. Fearless came in with 592,000 sales, partly in thanks to the smash hit lead single, Love Story. Speak Now was Taylor's first album to break the 1 million first week sales point, coming in with 1,047,000 sales. Red finished its first week with 1,208,000 sales. The singles We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were Trouble really helped. "1989 had the largest debut week since Eminem in 2002 with 1,287,000 sales. Reputation came in a little lower, with 1,200,000 sales in its first week, with a slight downward motion due to streaming beginning to take over. Lover has had a drastic drop in first week sales because we are in the thick of the age of streaming. People are much less likely to buy physical copies of the albums. However, Lover is the biggest first week sales since her album Reputation, so that still shows her power. Taylor Swift has managed to go from the American Girl Next Door to one of the most hated people in America and back again. When she was introduced to the music scene in 2008 by her label Big Machine Records, she was campaigned as the country sweetheart that the public ate up. After the infamous VMA drama with Kanye West, the public began to pull for her more and more as the years went and through her transition into the pop music scene. However, after Kim Kardashian released a Snapchat video of Kanye calling Taylor to discuss his song Famous, her public persona was transformed into that of a lying snake. She in turn embraced the persona and based her era reputation around the idea, but has since gone back to her public, sweet roots with Lover that has kept the lessons of fame she learned. Another issue Taylor has had in the media is feuds. Her most public has been with Katy Perry over backup dancers. However, in Taylor's new era Lover, she has since made up with Katy and they have publicly come out as friends again in the iconic You Need to Calm Down video. As for her fans, Taylor is known to lurk on Tumblr and interact with fans throughout the app. She commonly reposts, likes, and comments on fans' posts and creates larger bonds with her fan base. She is also known for doing her secret sessions before each album's release and for hand-selecting fans to meet her for free on her tours. An interesting aspect of Taylor Swift is that she doesn't allow people to pay for meet and greet to meet her. Instead, you must be selected by her.